Hey guys, thanks for stopping in again. I just thought I would, kind of popped into my head that maybe I would do a 3 years on the wrist episode on my Submariner. I've owned this for 3.5 years now. It's been on my wrist nearly every day since I've owned it, with the exception of some vacations out overseas. I didn't want to bring it with me. And occasionally I do wear my Breitling, but this is on my wrist maybe 90% of the time. But for the first 2 years it was on my wrist every day. So let's kind of get into this. This is the 116-610, so 2007 and newer will be this model. It is the date. Let's show you some wear. I'm going to do my best to try and keep this at under 5 minutes or 5 minutes or so. It's hard to do. If I get this to focus. There we go. I work in a machine shop. I do wear this most of the time at work. There are occasions where it's just not worth the risk. You know, if I'm trying to pick up a large heavy piece of metal that's awkward to hold, I just don't risk it. So I'll take it off during those times, or if I'm grinding on some parts and I don't want to completely cover this in grinding dust. But other than that, I run CNCs, so it's not like I'm around spinning tools all that much. I'm behind, you know, blast-proof glass, and it's pretty safe to wear a watch. But anyway, so kind of got going off. This is the wear that's you know, accumulated over the past 3.5 years. I live in Utah, so I wear a lot of jackets. The jackets wear. I'm left-handed, so I wear it on my right wrist. So jackets are hitting here. If there's any sort of zippers on my jackets or buttons, they're hitting the bracelet. The sapphire and the Cerachrome bezel are immaculate. 0 scratches whatsoever. Got a little bit of dust on it. Try and get this cleaner for you. One second, sorry guys. Give you the best representation I can. So the like I was saying, the sapphire and Cerachrome bezel have held up perfectly. It keeps amazing time. There was one time change I only lost 3 seconds. But on average it's probably a half a second to a second a day fast, depending on my activities. This was we went on our honeymoon to Hawaii, and it was in saltwater daily. You know, of course I'd get out of the ocean and rinse it off with just a bottle of water or something. But I've had some cheaper watches that this just starts gumming up after about a year and it won't turn. This, on the other hand, feels just like it did the day I bought it. Just absolutely perfect. No stick, no hesitation. So it's held up extremely good. I just spoke to we went up to Park City and I stopped at the O.C. Tanner. I actually bought this at an O.C. Tanner boutique at City Creek in Salt Lake, Utah. But me and my wife went up to Park City, kind of hang out, and we stopped at the O.C. Tanner boutique on Main Street there. And I was speaking to a worker up there that I've known for a little while, and he was telling me that on the 904 stainless that you can get 9 polishings out of it, which I thought was pretty impressive. I was thinking maybe you could get 5. He he was saying that the golds, precious metals, are about 5 polishings, but these can get 10. So I don't know, that's pretty exceptional. If you clean your watch every 10 years and maybe polished every 20, that's 200 years of life out of the bracelet. Or 100 years if you do it every 10 years. They recommend to have these movements cleaned every 10 years. I know it was a lot shorter before, but with advances in oils and lubricants, it's every 10 years for these, according to Rolex. And I think that's about $1,000 cleaning and repolishing, if I'm not mistaken. People can comment if they know any other information on that, but I do think it's about $900 to $1,000 for a cleaning and repolish. On occasion I do, especially in the summer when my wrists swell up a little. You can see that I move the clasp in and out depending on the day, just to make my wrist more comfortable. So this is extremely useful even if you're not a diver with a wetsuit. I use this all the time in the summertime because my wrists are constantly fluctuating on, what if I'm being super active and things like that. So you can see the wear difference there. That is the spot where I've moved it in and out to accommodate my wrist changing. But for the most part, it's, especially in the wintertime, it's all the way small. And I can show you the size difference. So that is, you might get a pencil. Yeah, you can just barely get a pencil. And if I make it as big as it can, which I think is a 20mm difference, it's just loosey-goose, all sorts of room. The case is a 40mm case. I think that's fantastic. I do like their deep sea, which is 44. But this, I have medium to large hands and about a 7.5-inch wrist, 8-inch wrist. And it's just perfect. Other than the weight, I don't know what's on my wrist. It's unbelievably comfortable. It doesn't leave marks all over your wrist. I just wore this all day. Took it off for the video. There's no marks on my wrist whatsoever. It's just an unbelievably comfortable bracelet. Huge upgrade from the last one. So anyway, I will cut the video there. And if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hop on my Instagram, Utah Knives and Gear. Follow me there. If you have questions and I'm not responding on YouTube, and ask me there. I'm much more responsive on Instagram. And I have a lot more pictures on Instagram, so thanks again for stopping in, and I hope you guys found this interesting. Those of you who are looking to get one of these, that is 3 years of wear on one of these. I would consider, I go camping with it. It's always on my wrist. Camping, backpacking, shooting. It's a workhorse of a watch. Some people might think you have to baby a Rolex, which they're built incredibly well. So if you're considering it, that's the kind of wear an outdoorsy kind of person would get in about 3 years. No fluctuation on time keeping, it's perfect. So if you're considering one, I highly recommend it. Retail is right around $9,000 out the door for one of those. If you go to a boutique, you can get them for less. If you kind of go, I don't know, to secondary, not secondary, but less known companies, not boutiques, not dealers, HQ Milton, you can probably get them for a little bit less. So but yeah, I love the watch. It will never leave my collection. It will be passed down to my kids. It was a big milestone for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks again.